This is my exodus. This is my exodus.
Deliver me, deliver me. Thank you, Lord.
Sing
Thank
it
you,
ready. Thank you,
Lord.
Lord.
So when we read in our passage today from Matthew chapter 16, when Jesus says, deny yourself and follow me, perhaps Jesus isn't telling us to neglect our own well-being or neglect the value of our own voices. Perhaps Jesus is inviting us to deny the idea that we can do it all on our own, or that my own experiences define the whole world. Or perhaps Jesus is inviting us to deny that I am who I am without you. Perhaps Jesus calls us to take up the cross of interdependence, to recognize that we are who we are together, that I am who I am because you are who you are, that our liberation is tied to one another, that LGBTQ people aren't free until RT siblings are free, that queer and trans people aren't free until people with disabilities are free within and outside the queer and trans communities, that all of us aren't free until Indigenous persons are free and are granted their land back from oppressive governments, that none of us are free until Black and brown bodies are free from white terrorism, that nobody's free until our planet is free, that we are all interconnected, that we are not alone in this story. Perhaps Jesus is inviting us to deny that we are alone in the story of life and to take up the cross of interdependence. Perhaps Jesus is inviting us to recognize what the people of the southern regions of the continent of Africa have known for centuries, that humanity is tied to one another and all creation, Ubuntu, that I am who I am because you are who you are. So I want to invite you to care for yourself, because your care affects the care of your neighbor. And I want to invite you to care for your neighbor, because your neighbor's care affects your own care, my own care. We are all interconnected and interdependent upon and with one another and with the whole planet. So who are you? Who are you? The burning bush asks Moses, who are you? And Moses asks back to God, who are you? Who are you? And God responds, I am. I am. You are a beautiful and necessary part of the web of interrelations that are constantly being formed from the depths of love that sustain our universe. You are a part of me. I am a part of you. We are all part of one another and this planet. May we seek to recognize and live into this interdependence in our daily lives. May it be so. Amen.